Whoa, that would look cool. That was really close on the ground. What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Here is a new Hubsan X4 Storm. Now it does come in two versions. You get the basic version, which is just a drone and the transmitter, or you get this one, which is the drone, transmitter, LCD and a goggles where you can slip this guy in the front of. Now it is brushed, but that's nothing too bad. If it's your beginner drone, you don't want something too expensive. I do believe they're 10 by 22 millimeters, so pretty sweet. But enough of that, let's get cracking and see what we get inside. We fly with your dreams. Alrighty. The packaging is fairly nice. So we take out these separate boxes within this box. Alrighty, now let's get inside this one first. We have our USB kind of charging cable, USB to micro USB, basic style FPV antenna, and a sunshade. Comes with its own little instruction manual here. Manual for installation of the sun shield cover. I'm not going to do that on camera. Alrighty, goggles. Let's have a look at this. So like I mentioned, you just get the goggle casing and you get the LCD display and you kind of slide it in the front there. That's it. Alrighty. That does come with a nice strap because they are fairly large, as you can see, but it does come with this head strap at the top as well to kind of help it stay in your face. But here we go here. The LCD monitor is inside there. As you can see, you slide it in the front here and you lock it away, and that's the access. But bear in mind that when you want to start like DVR recording and stuff like that, you have to push record here first, open this guy up, and then pop your goggles, pop the LCD monitor in there, and you are good to go. But it does have a Fresnel lens in there, as you can see. But we'll power it on later on when we get the close look at the LCD, and then yeah, we'll see how it looks inside here too. Now guess what, we've got the LCD here, we might as well talk about it. It is a 4.3 inch LCD, pretty nice, and the good thing about it, you don't have to put it in that if you don't want to do FPV. With the goggles you can just attach it to the actual controller, which is pretty sweet, I must admit. So there we go, basic antenna there. You can always put your own on if you don't like it, but let's power this guy on. Well, first up, let's have a look. So obviously you've got your power button. It also has a micro SD card slot because yes, this guy has DVR, and not only does it have DVR on these LCD monitor, but also on the drone itself. So it captures it in the lower resolution, normal FPV style through your DVR, which gives you, interference and stuff like that. But on the drone, it's 720p. Pretty cool, no interference, all that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely do a test. We'll see the difference with that. So that is very nice to see. And as you can see, here's our screen. Fairly good viewing angles as well. And, not the brightest, well, not the glossiest screen, but it does have a slight matte to it, so it won't pick up all the glare. But you do have, some nice buttons here. We go back to the side. That is your micro SD slot, your charging cable right there. Now the buttons here, we have our mode buttons, the video and photo button, menu, and you can change it to on-screen display or on or off. And there's certain procedures here with your binding, changing from camera mode to video mode, all that kind of stuff. But we'll go through that later on. Let's cracking through the rest of the stuff. Alrighty, here we go. Drone is on the top. Looks pretty cool. I do like the color. It's got like not a bright yellow, but a faded yellow. It does look really nice. It has this kind of cute little stubby antenna, which does fold down in transport, I guess, but even in a crash, it could just pivot on there and you won't break it off, which is really nice to see. I think you definitely would. Yeah, you should be able to put your own circular polarized antenna on there as well. It has a little port there if you want to mod it later on, but that is there. The battery up top, let's have a look. Held in here fairly securely. Okay, so it's a LiPo high performance battery, 710 milliamp hour, 7.6 30C battery. So probably give you, realistically, probably 4 to 6 minutes runtime. You do notice here that you charge it via the balance lead here, so you couldn't really use your hobby grade charger straight out of the bat unless you modified or something like that. So that is a bit of a con, but I'm pretty sure that you could use, another battery and, just retrofit a different connector on there and use your own batteries. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, there is your 720p built-in HD camera, and you can adjust the angle of that camera as well. Now on the side here, to record the 720p camera, which is a better quality with no interference or anything like that, you got to use the inbuilt micro SD slot, and it's just right in there. There's no click, it just kind of slides in, so just bear in mind of that. On the other side here, you have a little micro USB port. Now that could be maybe for future firmware updates or stuff like that. All your electronic stuff is all nicely sealed in there. You can even see it's got a little heat sink there to keep that transmitter nice and cool. But everything is really compact in there. Carbon fiber, lower frame definitely looks like. Very thick, that is 2mm it looks like to me, with 1mm boards on the side here. But there we go, it does have a very loud low voltage buzzer there as well, so that's something to note as well. But there we go, pretty cool construction. Huge 10mm by, I'm sure they're 22mm long cordless brushed motors. Really nice, pretty cool design. Seems really rigid for its size. Yeah, not bad. Alright, next up, spare parts pack. It's always handy when you have a drone. Okay, so here is your just basic USB charger. It only is an output of 0.8 amps, so that's going to take what, an hour and a bit to charge that small battery. So anyway, you can use that. It gets you out of trouble, but you might have to adapt something if you want to use a hobby grade charger. And you also do get a full set of props. Alrighty, and they've done a really nice job with the packaging, really. I'm pretty impressed. That's a pretty sweet looking controller. 2.4 gigahertz. It does have a camera button, video button, different switches on the side here. And all these, I'll go through all these buttons later on, but feels quite nice in the hand. Also does have this little pop up here. If you don't want to put this LCD monitor in the goggles, you just lift that up there and you're good to go. I'm not too sure if it comes linked together. If it doesn't, these kind of talk together, I think via Bluetooth or something like that. So these kind of bind together, and then once that's all bound, that's it. You don't really need to do it again. But yeah, cool. We'll definitely get that up and running soon. We'll see what batteries it is. 4 AAA batteries, so all good. It also does have a micro USB slot in there as well. I'm not too sure what that's for. And last but not least, we do have a manual. Never don't want to read that one, but this gives us everything you need to do. So you got to bind the aircraft and the transmitter. So basically, I'll get some batteries in this and we'll do it together as well. Also, how to set the gyro, all that kind of good stuff. Take off, pull both in and out, and pull the left joystick because it is mode 1. Landing, and also I'm pretty sure it has like low battery warning and all that kind of stuff, but we'll definitely check that out in the flight test. Now before I forget, this little screwdriver is for taking off and installing the propellers, and just want to make sure that these are indicated. You have little B and B on the arm, A and A and B, and so on. Okay, got the batteries in there, and before I bind it up, just quickly tell you a few about these buttons. Obviously you got your directional controls here. This button here is actually the headlight power toggle, so pretty sure we push this on, it'll turn the LEDs on or off on the drone itself. This guy here is to clear the OSD from the screen. You have a little status bar here that'll give you your battery percentage. This is your binding button to make sure if they're flashing it's not bound. When it's one continuous color it is bound. You have your photo key, your video key. Now this one says it's your aileron trim, so these are some trim buttons as well. Obviously you have your LCD clasp there, on and off button, and yeah, that's it. Okay, to bind it you first need to bind the transmitter to the drone, and you only need to do this once. So you want to make sure the throttle is all the way down, hold the photo button here and turn on the transmitter. Now once that's on like that, you see it's flashing, you want to connect the drone up just like that. Got a sweet little LED in the front there, and red ones at the rear. There we go, done. As you can see, solid red light and solid blue light. It is fully bound and ready to go. That's step 1. Now as these two guys are bound, you might come into the situation where, if you've got the version I have with the actual LCD monitor, where it's not bound, because I just turned it on to see and try the procedure, and it's loading up right now, and it already was bound straight out of the box. The battery is running a little bit low, but it is bound, as you can see. Now, there's a simple procedure for that, really easy to do. Same procedure as before. You want to make sure the throttle is down, push and hold, just like that. So now you'll see that guy flashing, power on the monitor, push and hold the bind button here. You hear it beeping there. Now what you want to do, you go to your drone, power it up as well. Now don't touch anything or move anything, let it all bind together. That's it. Done. A lot of beeps, but everything should be bound up, ready to go. As we can see, everything is bound up. So, easy to install the monitor, put that back on if you like, and you are ready to go. Now I can show you the latency, if you like. Now, because it's not I don't think it's because it's 720, it's not going to be as lightning fast as some of the other guys, like the run cams and stuff like that. Probably around about 0.1 of a second latency, but it's not too bad. As you can see, there's my ugly head just over here. Yeah, not too bad. Let me just click my finger, and as you can see, that's a latency we're talking about. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. I guess it's a fantastic beginner drone. Now there we go. If I push this button here with the lights on it, you'll see the lights at the front will turn off or on. Pretty cool. And while I've got the manual or the monitor up here, if you push this larger button here, it'll turn off all the OSD information, as you can see. So it has some OSD, gives us the battery information for the drone itself, 7.6. It's got a little bar graph there, and also the battery for the inbuilt battery for this monitor at 3.5 volts. Now let me get an SD card in there and I'll show you how to record and all that kind of stuff. Okay, now I've got an SD card in there, just a basic 8 gig. It's all you need for the, I guess, DVR footage. But here we have that's a bind button. Here we have the little menu button. You can go through brightness, contrast, saturation, and you can also adjust the frequency, but it gives you a little bit of information there. You have the buttons on the side here where you can obviously put the screen brightness up and the contrast, all that kind of good stuff. So we'll go through those, cycle through that. Here on the side here, you've noticed there's a mode button, and what that does, if you notice this icon, it's a camera at the moment, and then it switches to a little like a camera. Switch that, for example, then you push this photo video button, that takes a photo. If I change back to the other one, push it again, it's recording now. So it's recording the DVR footage from this screen. So just bear that in mind, that's the DVR footage from here. You can just push it again, and push it again and it will stop it. Easy as that. Now, to record on the drone itself, you have your little SD card slot in there, like I mentioned. If you don't have an SD card, this guy will flash. Once you put it in there, it stays solid. These buttons up here control the recording capability for the drone. So this one here is a picture. As you can see, it just flashed. But if you push video recording, you'll notice that little flashing red LED light there is indicating that it is recording the footage from the camera here, so the 720p footage. I think it's probably around about, it says I think 30 or probably 25 frames a second. I think the DVR footage is probably around about 20 frames or so a second, so it's not as good, but it is what it is. At least it gives you two options, so you can record the footage you're seeing from the drone like a normal DVR footage with the static and interference drops outs and stuff like that, or you can get the 720p footage from the drone itself. Now there also is two different modes. If you push in this right stick, you can see normal mode and sport mode. So that's, you get two different styles of flight. No acro mode or anything like that, but it does have that flip function. You kind of push this in and then flick it in the direction you want. So yeah, that's what it is. Push in, push forward, rolls forward, push left, it'll roll, flip left and right and all that kind of stuff. Now here are the goggles. Mainly hard plastic construction. Little spring-loaded latch there, like I mentioned. It does have top head piece as well, so kind of makes sure it stays on your head, not flopping downwards because it is rather heavy. It does have little vents in here at the front to keep everything, I guess, temperatures in check. Once you put the LCD in here, you can't change any of the buttons because, as you see, they are locked out of view. So you can't change nothing once it's in there. There are no buttons on the outside that extend into the other buttons. So that's the only downside. So you've got to turn it on like that. So that's especially turn it on before you put it in. And as you see, in it goes. Once it's in there, it's locked in. It's not going anywhere. As you can see, it does have that lens in there to help kind of magnify the image. But that's it. Once it's in there, if I can kind of get it even closer. Let's see if I can focus that camera. That's it. But yeah, there it is. It does have, you know, basic stuff. This padding is a bit soft. It kind of fits my head okay. Look, it's good. It's in there. Comes with the package. Not the best quality, but hey, it's not the most expensive drone either. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. Now, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, this is from Bangor. Link it in the description if you want to go check it out. To turn this guy on, push down and out like that. Turn it back off. Same thing. Simple as that. Now that's enough talking from me, guys. Let's get everything charged up. We'll show you the difference with the DVR quality from this guy and the 720p footage from the recording to the camera itself. And forgot to mention that this is capable with any goggles, Fat Sharks, Ionways, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't want to use this particular setup, you can always use it. You could always give this to someone else on the field just to show you what the drone's looking at, and you can have your own footage through your goggles. So that's pretty cool. But enough of that. Let's go out in the field. Okay, here I'm at the park. Got everything plugged in. Turns on straight away. As soon as you turn the transmitter and the drone on, it all binds up straight away. And one thing I noticed that this screen is really, really bright. What I want to do now is I'll start the DVR recording. I want to start it on here as well. Make sure we are in video mode. So we are in video mode, yes. Let's click record. So the recording on, I should be recording that screen, the normal DVR style. And if I click up here on top of the monitor, sorry about that wind noise, we should be recording on the drone as well. If I push that, there's a little light that's flicking just there. We should be recording as well. So we can see that's a difference in quality from the 720 camera on the drone, and also what we should be seeing on the monitor as well. So let's get everything up and running. Move out of the way, get out of the sun so it's directly behind me. Start it, push out like that, both sticks down and out, and there we are. So let's get this guy, there we go, in the sky. And it does have a normal mode and sport mode. You can tell that as well if you don't know what you're in. If you push on the right stick in, it'll tell you, and also you can see on the screen there with the OSD information. Push it again, that is in normal mode, just like that. And also does have flip functions as well on the left stick. If you're going to push, let me just got to get it in frame. If you push in and then the direction you want, so push, let me get a bit of altitude, bring it in a bit closer, push it for example and push forward, so the front flip, try back flip, push it, get a bit of altitude, and back flip, there we go. And also does rolls. There we go there. So this is in normal mode, and it is pretty pretty peppy as well. Let me just kind of bring it around, make sure that camera is at a decent angle. I'm just looking at the LCD at the moment, just doing a bit of FPV flying. Yeah, not too bad. Sounds pretty sweet cutting through the air. Adjust this angle of the camera so I can see a little bit better when I am going full forward. So let's just adjust this camera a little bit up, slightly up. There we go. Just so I can, or so we can see a little bit better on the camera. Both out, up we go. So let's do a punch test in normal mode. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, pretty high up. We'll bring it back down. Let's try it again in sport mode. So let's click the right stick in. It's in sport mode. 1, 2, 3. Way up there, so that's fairly high for a little drone as well. And I'm looking at the monitor, a bit of flickering in every now and then, but let's have a little bit of a fly around in sport mode. Oh, it's pretty quick. Let's slide it back. Make sure you have to push up on that. Okay, it is pretty quick. Getting a little bit windy here, but it does pitch down nicely. Yeah, it loses altitude fairly quickly when you punch it forward like that. It's very hard to see on the hat cam, that's for sure. Like a little bug chasing it. Good luck with that, buddy. Let's just do some, I guess, some slow flying. Or slow as you can with this. In sport mode, that thing really, really hammers. Make sure you've got a bit of altitude because you definitely lose altitude. Let's do one of those front or little punch tests but moving forward in sport mode. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, that would look cool. That was really close on the ground. Okay, now let's try normal mode. Just do a little bit of FPV flying before this battery drains down because a bit of wind here in sport mode definitely will chew up that battery. And the good thing about it does have a nice buzzer as well. Just do a bit of, I want to try a look on the FPV monitor and just do a bit of flying. And good thing about it is nice and bright. Great little beginner drone. Definitely really, really good little drone. The range so far is pretty good. Bear in mind I have no real obstacles here. I'm in a cricket oval, so it's pretty decent. There I am there. Just do a little bit of spin around me. Come back this way. Yeah, this monitor is great. It's nice and bright. I do have the sun shade on at the moment, bear in mind, but apart from that, really good. Oh, there we go. You can hear the OSD, not the OSD, you can hear the buzzers going off, telling me that the drone is at 6.7 volt. You'll see that on the screen as well. So let's bring that back. And the good thing about it is really loud. You can hear that. The buzzer on the drone is really loud. You can hear it, I'm not sure. But you definitely will be able to hear that from a distance as well. If you don't, for some reason, don't hear the buzzer from the transmitter. So let's land this guy, turn it off. Definitely make sure that we turn off the recording from the drone before we pull the power out. Done that many times. And we also stop the recording here as well. Recording off, so done. Let me turn all these off so it's not so loud. There we go. Turn this guy off. Let's go back to the house. Now I hope you liked the video, guys. I think this is a fantastic drone for beginners or even advanced pilots alike. I have flown it a few other times, gave it a few hits into the ground and no issues whatsoever, just a little bit of scuffs from the dirt. Bearing in mind it was in grass and dirt, it still fared okay. I do like this collapsible antenna. When you do have a crash, it just folds over and doesn't break, and you can always put your own one in there if you like. Just unplug that. There's nothing soldered on there, which is really good to see. Average battery time. They can also fit different batteries in there, no worries. Just a standard size 2-cell, roughly around about the 700 to the 800 milliamp hour will fit in there, no problem. But yeah, really nice drone. It does have a fantastically loud beeper on both the drone and the transmitter here as well. I do like the fact that it records DVR on this monitor. It's fantastic. You can take this off, take it to the field, give it to someone else so they can see what you are seeing if you have your goggles as well, which is really cool. And also it's nice to have that function of being able to record what the camera sees on this guy. Now the quality isn't the best you've seen. It is better than a standard DVR that you see captured from this. But you know, it is what it is. It is fairly decent for what you get. If you want any more info about it, link is in the description from Bangor. So, hope you enjoyed that video. Any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you like the video, really appreciate a like. And if you haven't, please subscribe, hit that sub button, and also that little notification bell so you get notified of all my latest videos. So, cheers guys. See you in the next video.